I think it really was a much better place with religion. It was almost a guide, to a certain extent it was a guide.
Almost a guide. Now, this is true. He's pointing in the right direction. He's stumbling in the right direction. He's going to say a bunch of true things here, but he doesn't have a foundation to put them on. So welcome to another reaction video. Today, we're going to react to a clip of Lex Friedman talking to Donald Trump about death. I won't have much to say in the first part of this clip, but then I might be stopping every other second or so.
One of the tragic things about life is that it ends. How often do you think about your death? Are you afraid of it?
I have a friend who's very, very successful, and he's in his 80s, mid-80s, and he asked me that exact same question. I turned it around. I said, well, what about you? He said, I think about it every minute of every day. And then a week later, he called me to tell me something, and he starts off the conversation by going, tick, tock, tick, tock.
Yeah.
This is a dark person, in a sense, but it is what it is. I mean,
so start right there. This is fundamentally a fatalist approach. It is what it is. Don't argue with it. It's going to happen. Just suck it up, right? It is what it is.
If you're religious, you have, I think, a better feeling toward it.
Well, saying if you're religious, this is like saying if you're sick and if you have pills in bottles. Well, yeah, what pills? What bottles? What's on the label? What does this pill do? What does that pill do? What is it talking about? Donald Trump is talking about religion generically, as though you could cure any disease with a thing called medicine generically.
Supposed to go to heaven, ideally not hell, but you're supposed to go to heaven.
Yeah, you're supposed to go to heaven. Yes, that's true. Yeah, you're supposed to go to heaven, but that's not the same thing as knowing that you're going to. 1 John 5:13, it says he wrote those things, wrote the things he wrote so that we might know that we have eternal life. It's not a wing and a prayer. It's not I'm supposed to go to heaven, and it's not a fatalistic I'll die and see what happens. See what the luck of the draw was. He's saying he's hoping that this will happen, but it's still fundamentally fatalistic.
If you're good, I think our country.
Yeah, if you're good. But the problem is that we're not. That's the difficulty. The issue is not can good people be saved, because of course they can be. The problem is that the question before the House is, can bad people be saved? That's the issue. And there's no answer to that apart from the cross of Christ.
It's missing a lot of religion. I think it really was a much better place with religion. It was almost a guide, to a certain extent it was a guide.
Almost a guide. Now, this is true. He's pointing in the right direction. He's stumbling in the right direction. He's going to say a bunch of true things here, but he doesn't have a foundation to put them on. It was a guide. It was very good, but it wasn't good because it was quote unquote religion. It was good because it was the true religion. Christ rose from the dead.
Right. You want to be good to people. Without religion, there are no guardrails.
That's true also. Without the true religion, there are no guardrails. With false religions, there are bad guardrails, or guardrails in the wrong place, or guardrails that guard the wrong things.
I'd love to see us get back to religion, more religion in this country.
One of the things that we have to understand is that this world is a messed up and broken place. Consequently, we don't need religion for decent middle-class folks. What we need is salvation for awful people. And the people who are saved know that the church is not a rest home for saints. It's an ICU for sinners. And the danger is whenever faith, religion, and particularly this is true of the true religion, when Christianity has sway and has had a big influence, people start taking credit for the decency that results as though we're the cause. And it's not at all.